Live look over Capitol Hill, where police say they are monitoring a rising number of threats against members of Congress. It comes as we learn about unidentified drones seen above the Army base where Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth live.
7 News has team coverage for you this morning. We start with John Rogers at the Alert Desk with more details on these reported drone sightings. John, what's up?
Yeah, I want to show you where this happened. This happened over Fort McNair. Now, if you don't know where this is, it's literally right next door to Audi Field. There's Nats Park over there. Here's the fort. So you're going to look live here at the area, this live shot we have. Fort McNair is actually beyond the 14th Street Bridge, but that's the base where Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth live. Now, the Washington Post reports that multiple drones were spotted over the military base on a single night in the last 10 days. This has led to increased security measures and a White House meeting over how to respond. These drones even prompted officials to consider relocating the 2 cabinet officials from that base. So far, they've not moved from their homes. Fort McNair does house the National Defense University and some of the Pentagon's most senior military officials. The Post says it has not traditionally housed political leaders, but cabinet members from the Trump administration have moved to military bases, citing security concerns. So we'll keep watching this, Adam.
All right, well, rising threats against members of Congress are putting Capitol security under the spotlight. From alarming incidents at the Capitol to concerns in lawmakers' home districts, the department is calling for a historic level of funding to try to keep pace with all these threats. Reporter John Gonzalez picks up our team coverage live on Capitol Hill with more. John, good morning.
Adam, good morning. And this morning, the concern here on Capitol Hill is that lawmakers are being targeted more frequently. The U.S. Capitol Police Department says it is facing growing challenges, and not just within the historic walls here at the U.S. Capitol. Chief Michael Sullivan has requested the department's first ever budget topping $1 billion, citing a sharp rise in threats against members of Congress. Last year alone, officers investigated nearly 15,000 concerning statements and threats. That's a 58% jump from the previous year. Chief Sullivan warns that this trend is continuing this year, and authorities point to recent incidents here on Capitol Hill as proof. Just last month, an 18-year-old approached the west front of the Capitol carrying a loaded shotgun. He was arrested without incident. The department also extending its reach beyond D.C. with mutual aid agreements in all 50 states, ensuring law enforcement can respond quickly wherever these lawmakers are traveling.
These are not just numbers. They're threats against real people. We understand how disruptive and unsettling that can be. That is why we are improving both how we investigate threats and how we keep your offices informed along the way.
Now, the chief says the department's Protective Intelligence Center, which is now fully operational, centralizes protection for these members. He notes staffing and overtime pressures remain, even with improved hiring, and hopes the new budget can help. But asking for over $1 billion during a partial government shutdown is quite a heavy lift right now. Reporting live on Capitol Hill, John Gonzalez, 7 News.